Welcome back to Liberty Bytes on the Think Liberty Network. I'm your host, William Gadsden. You can follow me personally on Twitter at William_Gadsden and follow Think Liberty on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever your favorite social media outlet is. Give us a follow and a like for updates on new episodes and more. In 1882, Nietzsche declared that God is dead, ushering in a new era of prosperity, individual expression, and, of course, utopian societies. Just kidding. Nietzsche failed. Instead, the 20th century became awash with blood. It saw 2 world wars, mass genocide in Europe, Africa, and Asia, the trampling of individual liberties around the globe, and opened Pandora's little box of horrors in terms of moral decay. In North America alone, we have mass abortion, pedophile apologists, and children as young as 5 being taught about every aspect of the modern interpretation of human sexuality in taxpayer-funded schools. And I mean every aspect. Counter to what most goths and edgy high school students and neckbeards on social media believe, Nietzsche's original intent in introducing these ideas was to bring about a humanist version of morality, saying that we don't need religion to give our lives meaning or a moral code, that we can find meaning and drive in life apart from religion, and instead in what man can create. Art in all of its many forms, scientific advancements, and the unending quest for knowledge. He saw the next step in human evolution as shedding religion, and what he saw as the chains within them that held human capabilities down. But what he didn't account for is the nature of man himself. Now, as fallen creatures, we want an excuse to give in to our temptation of hedonism, of limitless pleasure, of greed and slothfulness and gluttony. Nietzsche gave us that excuse by removing the anchor of the idea of higher power and depending on our own self-discipline, of depending wholly on the perceived goodness and self-control of humanity. Nietzsche removed the cornerstone of morality that had stood since the beginning of time, and we paid for it. We are still paying for it, and we will continue to pay for it until we do something to change it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to convert to Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism or whatever, but at minimum, appreciate the moral guidance that these religions offer, rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Even non-religious folk like Jordan Peterson and F.A. Hayek readily recognized the framework that Judeo-Christian principles provided in creating the Western world, the greatest civilization in history. Indeed, even the most hardened atheist libertarian, if he's being intellectually honest, must admit that Judeo-Christian values are the bedrock of libertarian ideology, of individualism and personal responsibility, of voluntarily giving and benefiting others before yourself. To take a page from Dr. Jordan Peterson's book, we have to have morality guiding values to form order out of the chaos, even if that morality comes from religion, and frankly, it usually does. If we're to benefit humanity, we must first benefit ourselves. We have to become in tune with these guiding values to understand why they were put in the first place and learn what the practical benefits are of following them, if not the religious and spiritual benefits as well. If we can do this, in doing so, it may seem like we are binding ourselves to chains, something that will hold us down and keep us from being free, from moving to and from what we choose. And it very well may be. But we're looking at the analogy in the wrong way. These guiding values are what keep us securely strapped to the ship that is being tossed on an endless and tumultuous sea that would otherwise gladly devour us, dragging us into its dark depths of our own perverse, terrible nature. It is our lighthouse, our lifeline in the inky blackness of the abyss. It is our salvation, if we choose to embrace it. If we choose not to, well, the monsters are waiting for us in the abyss, and they look a lot like us. I hope you'll take these words to heart and do some deep contemplation on them. In the meantime, be sure and join us next week to become more liberty-centered with us. I'm William Gadsden with Think Liberty.